Tupac.
Tupac.
The quad shooting.
Okay.
There's a lot of theories about it. Were you involved in that case at all?
No. Like everybody else, the aftermath of it, what do you know? How can we prove this? That kind of thing. The way I heard it was, well, it starts off, I guess, with Tupac now is starting to feel himself as an artist. And he's also has those ties to the underworld. He wants to be a little bit of everything. And he comes across Haitian Jack and he starts mixing it up. And he's got, he's hanging out with Madonna. He's hanging out with Haitian Jack. He's got the stars. He's got the bad guys. And then the incident comes where he's arrested with Haitian Jack and for rape in a hotel room.
Yeah, I interviewed the girl.
Did you?
Yes, her only on-camera interview.
Wow.
Yeah. And
I don't want to say who I think the other body is in that, but we could talk about it afterwards because I don't want to get fucking sued. But I believe it's a legitimate, 100% legitimate kind of date rape situation. And I think the girl's telling the truth and everything else. And so Haitian Jack has an attorney named Paul Brenner. And Paul was a PBA attorney at one point for the Patrolmen's Benevolent Association. And he was the guy that was recommended to cops when the union wasn't covering whatever they needed help for, namely an off-duty arrest where, drunk driving, wife beating, something really serious. And, he was a capable attorney. Somehow another Jack comes across him. He tells Jack, just take a plea. They're offering you whatever. Take the plea and be done with it. And he does. And Tupac apparently expected him to take it to trial with him. We're going to beat this thing. And he was like, no, just whatever. So that's sours their relationship. And, Tupac now gets called. Who is it to go? Was it Little Sean? Or,
yeah. Little Sean was recording at Quad Studios. Jimmy Henchman was managing him, and they were paying Tupac to show up and lay a verse.
Now, Little Sean's like a street guy, Little Sean's not like, he's not like Ja Rule, you know what I mean? Like, he's a real street kid. And I think he was running around with Scooter and those guys. Scooter, Smiley, all those guys. So he was no joke. He's up there, and then Tupac comes to do the track, get a little cash. And, he's preyed upon by, members of, Jimmy's crew.
Is that real? Because there's always a gray area about this. Was it Jimmy Henchman who had him shot up?
Yes.
You're sure about this?
Well, I wasn't there, but yes. Everything that's been told to me, including Haitian Jack, will say it's Jimmy.
Okay, why would Jimmy have Tupac shot and robbed when he's coming up to record for his artist?
Well, according to Jack...
Because Jimmy Henchman was managing Lil Sean at the time.
Yeah, well, according to Jack, he had told everyone, leave that thing alone, leave it alone, whatever. But since Tupac did that interview with AJ Benza and he named Haitian Jack, they decided to do something about it. But they didn't intend on shooting him. They just wanted to smack him around, take his stuff. And that was going to be the end of it. Tupac had a gun in his waistband. He shoots himself in the abdomen a couple of times and, then shots ring out. And, Tupac now blames everybody in the world for something that's so obvious. He blames Stretch. He blames Biggie. And he started to cause, it was the beginning of this East Coast, West Coast nonsense. And he put things on people they didn't deserve, And, and then eventually he's convicted. He goes to jail. And an associate of Jimmy point blank told me in a conversation that they had him sexually abused in jail. So that's not something I like to throw around lightly. The person who told me I didn't ask him any question in regards to what was prison life like for him, whatever. He offered it amongst other things in a very sober, casual manner, and said he was privileged to that happening. So, and that was supposed to have come from Jimmy's crew, that Jimmy had ordered it. So I don't know if it's true or not. I never investigated it. It was supposed to happen in Rikers, not in state prison. And I hear all these people talking about, oh, it couldn't possibly happen in Rikers. Come on. You know what I mean? These things happen all the time. But it's up to people to whether they believe it or not, you know. Trying to remember, who was the director that Tupac worked with?
John Singleton.
Because he had made mention of something that he wanted to do a story. Do you think that is
right.
true, or do you?
So John Singleton was supposed to direct the Tupac movie, and there was a scene in there that was a rape scene in prison. When the producer found out about this, he got John Singleton kicked off the project, and he brought in Benny Boom. And I remember I heard this myself. There was a jail call between Suge Knight and someone where the guy was talking about Tupac getting raped in prison, as well as another scene that would have showed Tupac's mom, Afeni Shakur, in a lesbian relationship. And Suge basically said, well, you know, yeah, they should put it out there because that's essentially the truth in so many words.
Right.
And of course, everyone kind of denies it. Oh, that would have never happened. Someone would have heard it. Word would have gotten around.
Well, you know, it might, if it did happen, it might answer up for why Tupac was so crazy about this whole thing. But I think he was I think he had a touch of mental illness in him anyway. He really was, he was up and down, like a bipolar kind of thing, you know? And he put himself in situations he never should have with this, you know, with hanging out with the gangsters to, you know, shooting at drunk off-duty, half-corrupt hillbilly cops down in Georgia, you know? So he wasn't a good guy, you know what I mean? Like, people immortalize him. Like, when you die, it's like your ticket to, you know, being immortalized and stuff. But he caused, to me, he caused the death of Biggie. And that, I think, is the biggest crime that happened out of all of this. So